Hello, welcome to my live. I am good, good. How are you? So for now, I today I have an offer which is mentioned right here. If you want a yes or no question, you just have to pay me 100 rupees, and if you have current feelings related question, then you have to pay me 200 rupees. Okay. Hello. Hmm. रेनू जी रीडिंग्स पेड हैं, आप पे कर दीजिए 200, मैं बता दूंगी करंट फीलिंग्स। अगर आपको येस और नो जानना है तो 100, अगर करंट फीलिंग्स जाननी है तो 200। ओके, हाँ जी, मैं भी तो स्कैनर लगा देती हूँ ताकि आपको समझ में आ जाए किधर पेमेंट करनी है। इधर अभी ठीक है। जब आप कर देंगे तो बता दीजिएगा मेरे को, मैं चेक कर लूँगी। Hi Tanya, I am doing tarot reading here. No, no, there's nothing quite. I was just waiting for people to come. I hope you're having a good day. Yes. You too. We can do a collective reading for people, whoever is live. Okay. Most of the people are waiting for some kind of judgment to happen. Like you want God to do something in your life, or you want something magical or miraculous to happen. But the thing is, in all this waiting game, in all this waiting for the like God to do something, you are being way too carefree. You are being way too careless. You are not taking things in your hands, because of which you might get hurt in the upcoming future. Okay, so if any spiritual force or God has to work for you, it will work no matter what. But the thing is, you don't have to wait. Okay, you have to keep working for yourself. As long as you are working for yourself, probably you won't even like think of if externally some forces working for you, because then you are working for yourself. But right now, risking weight gain and risking things to happen externally is not the right decision. Okay. Thank you. If you want any specific readings about specific things in your life, you can avail that too. I'm from India. You? Okay, okay. Okay, okay, got it. Annie, you can follow me on Instagram if you ever want readings in future. Or if you want right now, you can take right now. Or you can just pass by. हेलो हेलो, कैसी हो? uh, on this channel's description, the name of my Instagram page is Handy Tarot Readings. मेरा रियल नाम निर्मली है, मेरा कॉलेज में रश्मि मैम से काम है, वो काम कब होगा? नेहा, मैं बस पेड रीडिंग्स दे रही हूँ, ठीक है? अगर आपको चाहिए तो आप पेमेंट करके ले सकते हो. अभी ऑफ़र चल रहा है तो आपको सस्ता पड़ जाएगा. अभी तो मैं मुंबई नहीं आ रही. येस और नो 100 में, करंट फीलिंग्स 200 में. कितना पे करना पड़ता है? अगर आपको कोई येस और नो क्वेश्चन चाहिए तो 100 रुपीज़ पे कर दीजिए. अगर किसी की फीलिंग्स जाननी है या कोई और स्पेसिफिक क्वेश्चन जानना तो 200. ओके ओके तान्या. डेली अभी तो कुछ पता नहीं है। तान्या, इंस्टाग्राम पे प्राइसेस आर लिटिल डिफरेंट, ओके? हाँ। बाय बाय तान्या, हैव अ गुड डे। कोई बात नहीं। मेरा डिस्क्रिप्शन दिख रहा है क्या? मोबाइल पे नहीं दिख रहा? पता नहीं मोबाइल पे क्यों नहीं दिखता मेरा कभी। थैंक यू। मतलब नहीं, मुझे लगता है कि दिखता है लोगों का। लाइक नीचे एक छोटा सा लाइन आती है, इसको यू हैव टू क्लिक इट एंड इट गेट्स ओपन्ड। ओह अच्छा, मुझे लगा वो डिस्क्रिप्शन होता है। ठीक है ठीक है। हेलो। हाँ हाँ कर दूंगी। येस और नो क्वेश्चन 100 का है, करंट फीलिंग्स वाला 200 का है। I'm studying about a theory called looking glass self theory. It states that rather than identity developing in isolation, the scientists who developed this theory viewed the formation of self as an inherently interpersonal process. This means that identity requires a social other to exist. We do not simply know who we are, instead, we learn who we are by observing how others perceive us. This person's primary premise revolves around reflected appraisal. What is reflected appraisal? Which refers to process where we imagine how others see us. In this model, other people function as mirror or looking glasses, reflecting our character back to us through their reactions. Okay, we develop our self-concept, the mental picture of our abilities and traits by interpreting the social reflections. Complexity of multiple cells. However, the scientists emphasize that this looking glass is not a mere mechanical reflection. Instead, the reflection of a person perceived will differ depending on whose specific viewpoint they are taking. Okay. Because we interact with various people in different contexts, the looking glass self theory aligns with the psychological concepts that we process multiple selves rather than a single rigid identity. Individuals can modify their behavior and self-perception depending on the self-social relationships they are engaged in. How my mom and dad sees me, how my girlfriend sees me, how my other girl sees me, how my ex-girlfriend sees me. Okay. There are 3 steps to self-reflection. The image of a parent. The person begins with interpersonal anticipation or the act of imagining how we appear to others around us. We do not simply exist, we actively wonder how our clothes, gestures, and words look to outside observers. The stage highlights our fundamental reliance on external perspectives to initiate self-awareness. Okay. Okay, this depends on how we look and how others perceive us by our looks. The interpretation of judgment. After imagining our appearance, we engage in perceived evaluation. This involves interpreting how others are judging the appearance we have presented. Okay. We look for cues such as smile or frown to determine if the mirror society views us as favorable or unfavorable. Okay. The development of self feelings. The final stage of the internalization of this perceived judgment into effective response, which are the emotional reactions we have to our own identity. Okay. If we perceived approval, we feel pride. If we perceive rejection, we feel shame. Over time, these responses, distributed self-image catalyzes into stable sense of who we are. The role of subjectivity. It is vital to understand this process is highly subjective or based on personal interpretation rather than objective fact. Okay, we do not actually see ourselves as others see us. Instead, we see ourselves, we believe as others see us. Because we interact with many different people, our self-concept can shift depending on the mirror we are using. Consequently, identity is a fluid, constraint built up on lifetime of perceived social feedback. The architecture of identity, the childhood mirror self. Early childhood experiences from the foundation blueprint of the mirror self, the psychological concept we are, where our identity reflects how others perceive us. Since young children lack an independent frame of reference, they rely on social relations to define their worth. This process transforms the external feedback into the permanent internal identity. Absolute reliance on parental appraisals during infancy, a child's understanding of their identity seems entirely from the reactions of their caregivers. Because they lack cognitive maturity or the advanced brain development needed for complex reasoning, children accept parental feedback as absolute truth. Through introjection, a process where a person unconsciously adopts the idea of others, introjection. Children embedded in these reflections into their psyche. If a parent constantly praises a child's ability, the child adopts capable as a core fact. Consequently, these early labels act as first bricks in the wall of self-perception. Attachment and internal working model. The quality of early caregivers establish the most deeply rooted mirror for a child. Based on responsiveness of caregivers, children construct internal working models, which are mental representations used to understand the world and relationships. These models are complementary and dictate how a child views their own value. A secure attached child receives reflections of warmth, leading them to believe they are lovable. Conversely, a neglected child may internalize reflections of rejection. This often leads to a painful conclusion that they are fundamentally unwantable by others, learning conditions of worth. Because children depend on caregivers for survival, the threat of losing parental approval feels like primal danger. Through daily interactions, they decipher their condition of worth, the specific rules of behaviors required to earn love and acceptance. To maintain a favorable reflection, a child may suppress their spontaneous desires or delight experiences. This is a natural impulse that bring the child joy but might conflict with adult expectations. By prioritizing the mirror over their own head, children learn to trade authenticity or emotional safety. There is a Goffman's presentation of self in everyday life. I think it is enough. How do I bookmark this?